Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Richard for WELSHYTECH, and today we are looking at the updated version of the legendary Cooler Master Hyper 212 3D heat pipes. Should you buy it? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so we got another cooler here. This is the Hyper series from Cooler Master, but this is the updated version of the Hyper 212, which the Hyper 212 is very notorious, known as one of the best air coolers, or was. But there shows the specifications, but there. So we'll open it up and see what comes in the box. Now, this is the accessory box, which will come with all the accessories that are there. So it comes with the manual, comes with all the bracketry to install it, thermal paste and everything there. Okay. Then of course we get the cooler itself, but what's this by here? Let's have a look. Okay, is that a piece of paper? Okay. Just a piece of paper. Right, so let's get this cooler out now. By here, the way they open's quite nifty as well. Now, what I will say, I've actually got one of the Hyper 212s, but I got the Hyper 212 Black, I believe it's called, which is up on the shelf over there. Now, this one is very similar to that, but this is the newer one with the new 3D heat pipes they've got in the middle. And this one, of course, is the RGB version, which, to be honest, I've always liked the Hyper 212 series from Cooler Master because they are notoriously known to be one of the best air coolers on the market, especially for upgrading from a standard stock cooler from like Intel or AMD. Okay, so when it comes to the overall specs, and this does support all the later CPUs from AMD as well as Intel, so LJ 1851, 1700, 1200, 1151, 1150, 1155 and 1156 while I was going back, AM5 and AM4. Now as for the dimensions, 133 by 86 by 158 millimeters. The 158 millimeters would be the height. That's how tall it'll be from the CPU. So this has two 3D heat pipes, which has got the two by here, and then it's got these in the middle, and which are like a direct copper or direct dye, the aluminium fins. Now, as for the dimensions, is 120 by 120 by 25. This would be the fans, or the fan. This has addressable Gen 2 RGB. It's one piece. The speed is between 0 and 2050 RPM. The airflow max is at 63.1 CFM with the air pressure max at 2.69 millimeter H2O, 200,000 hours of use. The noise rating is 22.6 decibels with a loop dynamic bearing. It's got a 4-pin PWM, it's fantastic. It's got a 12 volt DC. It's got a 0.12 amp for the rated current. The safety current is 0.35 amp with a power consumption at 1.44 watts. So let's get this little cooler on the test bench. Okay, so the installation is quite straightforward actually. Now what you're going to want first of all is these brackets by here. This is specifically for AM5. Now this type of bracketry, believe it or not, Cooler Master have done this for a long time. So what you do is grab the cooler like this. Now these only go in one way, okay? So what you want is that facing that way. See the way it is? Just like this, you take these little screws that comes with it. So that's done. Now you want to repeat the process. So you want to repeat the process like this. Same thing on the bolt on the other side as well. Just take the screw and then you screw it in. And then what you do, and you don't go over tightening it because these only go down to a certain torque. And then that's pretty much it for that part. Now let's get into the actual installation part of it. So as for the thermal paste I actually use for testing, it is the Thermal Grizzly Duranot. This is the official one I use for all CPU and AIO coolers. So if you want to buy one of these, the link is down below. Very good quality thermal paste, and it does perform rather well, especially in testing I've done thoroughly. So put a dot down the middle. Depends, some people do a little bit more, some people don't, but personally it doesn't matter. As long as you get full spread, it doesn't matter. So now grab the cooler. Now obviously you're going to know which way it goes because it'll have the Cooler Master logo there. Now place it down like this on both sides. Now take the screwdriver like this, do one side, that side, and what you do then is you just do the exact same way. So you start with this one, that one, that one, that one. Just do it until it fully bottoms out, which it does. Now we get to the fan. Now this does come pre-done with the cable, the clips, so that's fine. So you just want to place it like this, have it up to about here, and then clip one side and clip the other side. That's it for the fan. Okay, so first of all we start off with the RGB or the ARGB. Now this is an ARGB connection. As you can see, it does have 3 little holes there. That is for the connectors for the motherboard. Now as for the header, that is what the ARGB header looks like. It's going to be varied from different motherboard to motherboard because they do have them in different locations in different motherboards, but it's exactly the same. So you just grab it like that, put it down, and then that's it for the RGB. And that there will be the PWM header. Now I say this in every video because it is true. Each motherboard has a different layout for where they put the CPU as well as the AIO headers. Sometimes they put them in this orientation, sometimes they put it a little bit further away from the CPU socket, some they put it a little bit closer. But that is the one. As you can see, it says CPU fan at the bottom. So that is a 4-pin PWM. All you do is just plug this in like this, put it in like that, and that's it for the installation. This is the Cooler Master Hyper 212 3D heat pipe. This is the fan of 50%. Virtually silent at 50%. Same thing but 100%. Despite being at 100%, this thing is still very, very quiet. Okay then, so when it comes to the actual system specs, well, it is my Ryzen 9 7900. It is a Sapphire B850 motherboard, 32 gigs of DDR5. It's got a Gen 5 drive from Kingston, Gen 4 drive from Samsung. It's got an RX 7800 XT, a 1000 watt co-link power supply, and it's housed in the B-Quad Charbase 800 FX. Now, when it comes to the actual testing, I've done 2 tests, exact same tests I've always done, 50, 100. Now, this is a single tower cooler, so we do have to bear that in mind. The temps are going to be slightly higher compared to a dual tower. But for the 50%, the CPU power draw at high was 171 watts with a low at 161. CPU clocks, high 5.4 with low at 5. Now, for the Cinebench R23, the idles are 32 with a max of 91. Blender Pavilion, idles 32 with a max of 89. Blender Classroom, idles 32 with a max of 89. And 3D Mark CPU test, the idles are 32 with a max of 72 Celsius. So, for the 100%, the CPU power draw was high at 173 watts with a low at 167 watts at low. The CPU clocks are high at 5.4 and low at 5. Now, for Cinebench R23, the idles were 34, the max was 87. Blender Pavilion, the idles were 34 with a max of 85. Blender Classroom, idles 34 with a max of 84. And 3D Mark CPU test, the idles were 34 with a max of 70 Celsius. So all I'm going to do by here, show you a graph of how this performs against other single tower coolers I have recently reviewed from back last year, and you guys will see that this is like one of the best when it comes to a single tower, especially on AM5. Now, yes, 87 degrees is still quite high, but it isn't at thermal throttling point, and it isn't 95 degrees, which I believe these the 7000 series from Ryzen, that is their throttle point, is 95 degrees. So it didn't do too bad considering what it's got in terms of competition out there for a single tower. As you could probably see from the graph, this is probably one of the best. So make sure you continue to watch. Okay then, so what did you think of that? Now, yes, I said legendary because the Hyper 212, the original one, was the standard for budget air cooling back in the day. So this is a revised, this is obviously different heat pipe design. It's got the 3D heat pipe but there. So it's the revamped of the original Hyper 212, which for a good time was one of the best or the best budget single tower coolers you could buy on the market. Now, this one isn't classed as a budget one because this is £39. For a single tower, that's a little bit expensive, but what I'm going to say, it performs okay for what it's for. This isn't meant to be overclocked or used for an overclock on a CPU. This isn't meant for a 12-core, 24-thread monster. At stock settings, this will do no problem. This will be fine. During gameplay, remember the testing I do aren't representative of gaming because gaming hits the CPU completely differently. Sometimes it might only hit 4 cores. It really depends on what game you're actually trying to basically max out. But what I'm going to say is this is a good little cooler. Now, the 3D heat pipe, as you probably saw from the other one I did, the V4, the 3D heat pipe, I think it is helping in a way because it's giving you the extra 2 heat pipes. So I think it is helping, and the dissipation as well as the overall noise of this is rather quiet for a single tower. And I think Cooler Master has done a fantastic job. Now, whether you want to buy that or not, that's going to be up to you. When it comes to single tower coolers, personally, I wouldn't pay nearly £40 for one, but that's just me, and that's just my opinion. But if you do want to buy one, I'll leave a link down below with other suggestions as well from other brands I have reviewed as well. But this gets a recommendation for me because this did perform well, and it's very quiet, and the mounting is just basic. It's simple and basic. So, yeah. Big thank you to Cooler Master. Sorry this took a bit longer, but it's done. The review is now live, and I like this little cooler. And the V4 is definitely a good one to look at as well. So, yeah. Look, what I've got coming, this isn't me taking anything away from this video. This is just me explaining and telling you what I have got coming in terms of content. Now, I've got a gaming laptop. I've got 2 gaming monitors here. I've got 4 cases here. I've got the Frost Tower. I've got the A70 case from Thermalright here that you guys have requested. I've got a bunch of stuff here, AIOs. I've got a motherboard graphics card coming in sometime this month. So make sure you subscribe for further content. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and week ahead of you. This is Rich for WELSHYTECH. Goodbye.